Have you ever accidentally eaten soap? I was just about to start recording and I accidentally ate some soap. It's a long story. But we are officially here, man. WWE 2K26 is officially in early access, I guess worldwide. Look, it's a lot to talk about. I want to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. Timestamps will be in the description below. We've had enough of the bad stuff. I feel like I should talk about something good. So you know what? We're going to still talk about the bad stuff first. Obviously, the biggest demon in the room, not Kane, the Ringside Pass. Is the Ringside Pass as bad as I speculated, as many other people speculated? Yes and no. Yes, because it's dumb. Because you, for example, you know guys like HBK 2005, Kurt Angle, you know guys that used to be base characters or that you would just use VC to unlock. Now you have to essentially grind to unlock them. HBK, I think he's like level 33 in the battle pass. I know Bray Wyatt, the Fiend version in particular, he's like 38. I think regular Bray Wyatt, he's level 30 or something. So it's kind of dumb because these are people who were base characters. Literally just, hell, a year ago, Bray Wyatt and the Fiend, I think also was a base character. Now you have to put in a bunch of hours into this game to unlock them. Even in the past, when they were locked, but, quote unquote unlockables, you really didn't have to play that many matches. You could have had enough VC for them after maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 matches. Now, it seems like it's pretty slow. The XP, you don't really get that much. In my playthrough, I didn't really play too many matches. I think I did 4 or 5 matches, 5-star matches, 4.5-star matches, and I still, I didn't really get any sort of XP. Now, I have seen people online say that MyFaction is the way to go about it, which isn't really surprising because I know when they introduced this same system in the NBA 2K games like 2 or 3 years ago, my team was the quickest way to advance it. Not a shocker that they're going to do it here, that the pay-to-win live service slot mode is the mode that's going to help you the most to unlock and grind these battle passes. It's just dumb. Some more things I want to comment on specifically that are bad. I'm seeing a lot of people still say they're experiencing crashes. I see people in my comments of my previous video talking about they're still getting moments where the game freezes. Now, in my matches, I didn't have any sort of issue, but I did have issues trying to access the community creations. It froze. I waited maybe 2, 3, or 4 minutes. It just completely froze. When I hopped on the island, my game was kind of choppy, and then my game also crashed. I don't really play the island mode. I don't really care for it. I just wanted to check it out for those of you who were curious to see, did they do anything different? No, it's still a live service slot mode. Another issue is I tried to get into a match. Nobody was doing matchmaking. At one point, the game completely crashed again while I was sitting there trying to, I think I was looking at the menu screen for the abilities, the paybacks, the boosts. So it just kind of turned me off completely because it's like I don't care about their mode. So you got it. Now that we've got the bad things out of the way, I want to talk about the good stuff. What did I like? What did I enjoy? Again, some people in my comments, their games were crashing, their games were freezing while they were in the middle of matches. Fortunately, or maybe they dropped a quick fix. I'm not sure. I didn't hop on until 2 a.m. I haven't had any sort of glitches in my matches. Now, the gameplay, this is what's interesting. It's kind of hard to describe. It's kind of odd. Not in a bad way, but in a good way. The game feels fast, but not actually like too arcadey. The game still feels grounded, but it's not too slow. It's kind of like the best of both worlds. It's kind of hard, but once you actually play it, you kind of get an idea of what I'm saying. The punches, everything, for some reason, the damage in this game, it feels a lot more realistic. You hit somebody, their health goes down pretty quickly. It doesn't matter if you're fighting a lower tier star. It doesn't matter if you're fighting a top tier star. And it's not like a squash match where their bar just just instantly depletes. But it's more like your strikes, they have weight behind them. And it's something else I'm seeing about these strikes. There were moments in my matches I could do a move and I wasn't really paying attention if it was because like my guy was tired or if I was hurt myself. But when I would do the move, it would take me out. I noticed it in a match when I played with Chelsea Green. I noticed it in a match with Roman and Oba. And when it happens, it genuinely looks so cool. It adds a bit of drama, a bit of intensity, a bit of flair, if you will, to the match. And again, I gotta give 2K, I gotta give them their credit. I've been on their ass a lot. I still think, if you're selling this game for upwards to $150, the issues that are prevalent right now, they shouldn't exist. But when they do something right, I will give them credit. I don't want to just be a grifter who just, complains nonstop. So the gameplay, when it works like that, it's pretty fire. And then of course, the things they were talking about that they introduced, the whole new match mechanic where you can do pre-match stuff, like you can shake hands, you can initiate chain wrestling, you can do cheap shots, you can do handshakes and then go into a cheap shot. It's so fun. You can draw energy from the crowd, and again, it just adds this drama. It adds this intensity to the matches, and I gotta give them a round of applause. I don't know if we can consider this the final product per se, but one of the biggest differences that I've noticed in this version of the game and compared with some of the earlier footage that 2K showed us, the thumbtacks. I remember when they first showed it, advertising it in the trailer that Wade Barrett was narrating, and I remember people were pointing out, the guys don't really react. They're hitting the thumbtacks, but they're not moving. There's nothing there. And when I played a match, I think I did a I Quit match with John Cena and Randy Orton. John Cena pulled out this white bag. I had completely forgot, that they had put thumbtacks in the game. This was my first match. And I'm like, what the hell he got in his hand? And he went into the ring and he dumped them out. And in the match, we were just throwing each other. I think at one point I superplexed Cena onto the thumbtacks, and I went to go for to make him quit. And he sold it a little bit, but then after he refused to quit, he sold again. You see the thumbtacks in his back. I did an Inferno match with Roman Reigns and Obafemi. In the same way, both of these guys, you see the thumbtacks in their clothes. And which, by the way, I haven't played the 3 Stages of Hell match yet, but I can confirm the dumpster match, the Inferno match, and the I Quit matches, they are fire. Now, I gotta be honest, I haven't played 2K14 since I was barely starting puberty. So I don't remember how the I Quit matches was in that game. I mean, obviously, they were fun, but I don't specifically, vividly remember how they played. The last time I played an Inferno match, I can't remember how they played. But these 2 iterations, you will have so much fun. It doesn't matter if you're playing in a universe mode. It doesn't matter if you're playing head to head against somebody These matches, I had so much fun. I just had so much fun. And I know I'm all over the place right now. I'll probably have to do a better cohesive video at some point, but this is just first impressions. And it was so much fun. I haven't really had this much fun playing a WWE game in a minute. And I have fun playing these games, but right now, I don't know if it's because my expectations were low, but I am just having a ball. The difficulty as well, the AI, I normally don't play on legend difficulty. I normally play on hard because in my opinion, legend difficulty isn't a challenge. They just reverse everything. Now, in 2K26, is legendary difficulty still like that? Yep. You thought I was going to say no? But in this game, the legendary difficulty, it somehow feels like an actual fight. In the Inferno match with Obafemi, it was so much fun. At one point, we went into the crowd. We were on the outside. It kind of felt like an actual real match. This is a real pay-per-view. I'm not saying PLE. This is a real pay-per-view match. We're going outside of the ring. Then we're going back into the ring. We're building up the intensity. Now we can't escape the ring until you throw somebody out. And it came down to the grittiness, the nitty-gritty. It came down to the final wire. Who's going to be clutch? And I got to admit, I cheated. Oba damn near had me beat. But I had the OTC. Shout out to OTC1. He had resiliency. And I was able to use resiliency to then get out. And then it just created a fire-ass sequence. I don't even remember what happened. I think I threw him onto the thumbtacks like I said earlier. And then we just kind of both passed out. And eventually I was able to throw him out. And then the whole animation, the referee is coming out. They're extinguishing, is that even extinguishing in him? I don't even think that's a word, but you know, they used the fire extinguisher on him. The animation was absolutely amazing. Now I will say the dumpster matches, you know, that's still a pretty gimmicky match. It's basically a casket match with a reskin, but is it still cool? Hell yeah. Another thing that I feel like they completely overhauled this year is the blood mechanic. In this game, you know, blood is automatically turned off. It's one of the first things I have to turn on. I hope I don't sound like a psycho for saying that, but I turn on blood, I get into the matches, and you can look at this from one or two ways. In this game, they just bleed too easily, or this game is hella realistic. Why do I say that? They will bleed the moment you hit them on something hard. You ram an opponent into the hell in a cell, the skin to the metal, they're gonna bleed. You take a guy, you ram his head straight into the barricade right in front of a family of four, he's gonna start bleeding like John Moxley. It's genuinely crazy. But again, it just adds so much more flavor into the match. It was one match I was playing. I don't even remember which one. I made the guy bleed. Then at one point, he started just hammering on me, slamming my head left, right, left, right, left. Then I started bleeding. And it again, what did I tell you earlier? It added so much intensity and drama and flair to the match. Like I'm so amazed. Again, I don't know if it's because my expectations were low, but I am just truly enjoying my time. And I know I briefly talked about it at the start of the video, but I do just want to also come back to MyFaction just for one thing. They currently have a new locker code. We have a current locker code in the game, best in the world 26, and that is BSTINTWRLD 26. I think the code is valid for 7 days. You get yourself some little quick packs. You know, no reason not to put it in. Hold up, what? If you've ever played Fire Pro Wrestling World, you love Fire Promoter, or you're just the type of person you enjoy simulating the matches, you enjoy watching it, you enjoy customizing each and every aspect of your shows, your whole universe essentially. They have really given you, I think, the most complex sandbox we've had to date. I gotta spend more time with it, so I can't really tell you if it's more complex to something like a Fire Pro Wrestling World, Fire Promoter. Probably not. But for a game of this stature, hey, still pretty cool. And something else I gotta say, I found this out by accident. If you're spectating a match and they're in the entrances, say you leave, it's a triple threat tag team match. The Usos just in the middle of their entrance, but you quit. You come back to respectate that match, it's gonna pick up on whoever entrance, you know, supposed to come out next, which is crazy. Then the most biggest game changer, the draft. The draft in this game, because you can actually choose who the GMs are for the shows. The draft works one of two ways. You either specifically draft for both brands, or you know, you can just draft for one. Well, I guess this, you say 3 ways. Or you let the CPU draft. Now the CPU is still the CPU. I did a draft. First pick, Drew McIntyre. He's the WWE Universal Champion. Second pick, SmackDown. Nick Aldis went and picked Nikki Cross. Nothing wrong with picking Nikki Cross. But when you got Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Gunther, Seth freaking Rollins, Asuka, Charlotte, Liv Morgan, when you got all of them, you got all of these people left, you know, that's a pretty crazy second overall pick. But hey, you know, maybe he knows something I don't. But again, man, Universe Mode, they've really outdone themselves. You can add WCW, ECW off the rip, as in you don't have to manually add them. They can automatically be there. You can choose what pay-per-views, again, I'm not saying PLE. You can choose what pay-per-views you want to include into the season. I said season, well, I guess that count. But the biggest one to me, you can choose what month you want to start in. You want to start in August? You want to start in October? Guess what? You can do it. You don't have to specifically simulate to then. But look, this video has gone on for long enough. I'm sitting here just rambling non-stop, incoherently. But I just had to pretty much get my first impressions out. This is WWE 2K26 Early Access Opening Weekend. Hoping that we get a quick fix. I'm enjoying it so far. There's a lot of room for improvement. I've seen, people having some rough experiences. I'm seeing people having some fun experiences. Hopefully 2K can pretty much fix everything because again, the game got issues. There's no doubt about it. But man, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Are you enjoying it? Are you gonna get it? Are you planning on waiting for a sale? I gotta be honest with you, for some people who might have their question, I did see a guy in my comments say that. My rule of thumb is it's gonna go on sale anyway, right around Mania, which is just I think 6 or 7 weeks from now. So the game is gonna have a WrestleMania sale. If you're kind of on the fence about it, just wait until then. No need to give them $150. I did it because hey, it's content. Either I can make fun stuff, or I can just yap and make fun of the game itself. Win-win situation for a content creator. But just if you're on the fence, just wait until WrestleMania. But again, man, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm really curious to hear more of the community's, thoughts. But again, this is just first impressions. This is just the opening weekend. Hopefully, it'll be a good year. I'm signing out.